guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on this side of the album, and I've already got the papers that I want to use. I pulled those out last night after I finished this. So I'm going to have two 3x4 photos on the bottom, and then I'm going to have some decorations up top. I actually can't get to my photo printer right now because it is behind the Christmas tree and one of the love sack kind of beanbag chairs, and I can't lift the love sack by myself, so I need Christopher to help me lift that. And you might be thinking, why aren't you just rolling it out of the way, Sandy? Well, it is wedged between my scrapbook desk, the Christmas tree, and the shelf that the photo printer is actually on. I can't get to it. So let's see what I can do. Guys, so I'm starting out with this 4x6 card. Now this is 4x6 solid paper that came in the December project kit that was on sale at the Scrapping Reflections website. And I decided that this was where my photos were going to go. But as I told you guys earlier, the photo printer is hidden behind the love sack and the Christmas tree, and we just aren't getting to it today. So I have that down there, and I'm going to print out, what I'm going to do is use the Project Life app. I'm going to make a 4x6 print of two 3x4s. I will cut the two 3x4s. I will kind of layer them on top of each other, and then you'll be able to see that at the end with my phone, because I made the photo to be printed when I can actually reach the printer. So here we are doing the magical thing, and that is embossing. This is Brutus Monroe Gilded Embossing Powder. It is the most delicious gold embossing powder you have ever seen in your life. And now I'm doing something dumb and holding the heat gun up to my hand to feel it get warm. Probably not the best thing to do in the world, so don't do that. Be safe with your heat gun. And now I am going to emboss those edges, and it is absolute magic, you guys. Now, in my December project, embossing the edges is something that I feel like I do pretty regularly through this project, and I always think, man, why don't I do this more often in my regular scrapbooking? For some reason, my brain has a block. It's like, why don't you do this in your regular scrapbooking? Why don't you think of that? I'm not entirely sure. It just doesn't compute in my brain. So now we've got this beautiful 4x6 card that will go on the bottom, and now I am pulling out the papers to see which one will be the best match. I liked this one, and I liked the fact that when I cut it in half, it had decoration for the top card that was pretty, and it had even more decoration on the bottom card that was pretty. It was definitely something that I liked and enjoyed. I'm going to bring up the plaid paper from the bottom to the top so that there's a little bit of continuity in both of these pockets, because this page will actually go into a page protector. And I pulled out the rub-ons, and I'm going to just use a small little rub-on up here because there is a bit of design already on the pattern paper. I just want to bring in just a skosh bit more where my number is going to go. I'm also going to bring in these pearl flat beaded ribbon things that were in my stash, that I said was going to be something that was going to be in my kit. Now, I talked yesterday about possibly doing some things to the numbers. In this case, I decided that my color is going to be all around the number, and my number was going to stay that khaki color. I've got a couple word phrases up here that are going to go. It says, the most wonderful time of the year, and a wonderful Christmas time. I think that's what it says, something like that. I think that is going to be hilarious, but you guys don't know why it's so funny. The reason why it's so funny is because the photos I have are one set of the stair gnomes, and if you've been watching my December projects in the past, you have seen stair gnomes feature in previous years, and there's also a sign that hangs on the door that says "Don't piss off the gnomes." We're definitely a Christmas gnome family. So I'm looking for some things just to decorate, because I don't want to just do my usual, right? Like my usual of labels and things. Wow, that thing's twanged real hard right there. So I've got the rub-on down. I am going to do my labels that I like to have, but I'm going to bring in some other fun things like this greenery laser cut, and also those white flat pearly things are going to be something that is fun. I want to leave myself a good amount of journaling space, because I want to talk about the "Don't Piss Off the Gnome" sign and how we are a Christmas gnome family for sure. The gnomes kind of take over our house, and we are okay with that. We're just fine with it. So I'm going to go ahead and make that happen. I'm going to grab some fun foam, and I cut it way too big and still cut it too big and had to trim it down to fit this label. What I'm going to do is actually use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on here. I'm not going to use my hot glue gun because this is going inside of a page protector. I use the hot glue gun because I feel like it gives it more strength and rigidity outside of the page protector. I haven't had anything fall off or out when I use my hot glue gun, so it's working for me. So I'm just going to keep going with it. I'm going to put these two little words over here in the corner, and this whole time I'm doing this, I'm like, oh yeah, you kind of forgot to cut off that plaid bit that's hanging out the side of the 4x6 card. So I will have to do that. Look at me, remembering to do the things. It's so good. And now I'm going to glue down the little flat pearl thing. Now, I did have the idea to tie the two tiny metallic pinecone charms to my number 2. But I decided not to do that because this is going inside of the page protector, and the pinecone charms are a little bit thicker than the other charms that I put in the kit, and the charms that are still available. I think they're still available on the Scrapping Reflections website. I don't think they all sold out. But anyway, I am going to not do that on this one. I decided that I had enough decoration going on up here, and then I am going to get that journaling done, which is a good thing, right? And I will say that what I had in my head last night after I finished that page is not exactly what came together on this page. I was going to use those thin chipboard trees and emboss them and put white on them so that they looked like snow, which is still something I'm going to do. It just did not make it onto this page. Yeah, so I do journal about this. I journal about how we're a gnome family and how we got the "Don't Piss Off the Gnome" sign last year, but it was one of the first things that went up this year, and just how much of a fun time it is. And then that is going to do it for this layout, and it also has a little tag up at the top of that thing that says "Don't Forget." So there you can see the "Don't Piss Off the Gnome" signs and some of the stair gnomes, which will be printed and placed in this album as soon as I can get to the photo printer. But yeah, there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.